Working on a latex mold right now. The latexing's done. It's been done for a while. It's just been kicking around. And just haven't got had time to do the mother mold to hold the latex. So I'm just about to work on it now. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So now the next step after the latex is done, I'm going to make the seams. I'm going to make it a 3-piece mold. If you take a look, it curves underneath the boot on either side. That would lock in underneath the back of the dog, underneath the face of the dog. So if you made one piece and tried lifting it off, it'd be hooked underneath. So I'll make a seam across the back and then just straight down the middle. Alright, I'll put the seam on and I'll show you guys. Alright, I got one of the seams done. All I did was use aluminum tape. Most of you probably already know that fiberglass can't stick to aluminum tape, so it pretty much makes the most ideal seam for doing fiberglassing. So I'll just make one more. I do it on both sides. You don't have to if you're using PVA. It'll protect the sticky side from sticking to the fiberglass. If not, it'll come off if you have any spots that it is showing. And if you wanted to, if you weren't going to use PVA, you can actually just take and put the aluminum tape over the whole thing. And you just want to make sure that there's no spots that are showing where the resin can go down in. But you just cover the whole thing with aluminum tape. You can use tin foil, but the tape will contour to the shape. The tin foil will too, but it won't stick to it. So that's what I would do. Just stick with the tape. It makes it cheap and easy. Instead of using clay like some people do. I've seen other people use duct tape and put duct tape for a seam. Use PVA and it'll protect it. So, alright, I'll do the other seam. I'll show you and we'll get fiberglassing. Alright, I'm all done doing the seams. As you can tell, it's a 3-piece backup. Now, for those of you that don't have PVA or are having a hard time finding it, at this point you can actually, the way I used to do it was just to use the aluminum tape on the rest of it. Slide your seams, it'll stick right to it, take to the contours. But now I'm just going to use a coat of PVA. Here's the drum of PVA. I don't know if this would help anybody out there. Information on getting it. You can go to your local marina or store that sells stuff for boats and that. And I've seen it for sale there. Which might help somebody out. But I'm just going to pour a little bit into a container and then put it on the mold. Alright, poured a little bit of PVA in. It's not fresh. When it's fresh, it's actually green. But it still works. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to brush it on. You can spray it on if you want. It's thin enough. You don't have to dilute it at all. I'm going to try holding this and doing it with one hand. All I'm going to do is take it and brush it on. And all this is going to do is put a thin membrane in between the latex and the fiberglass, and you can fiberglass right on top of this, and it's not going to bond. Alright, so I'm going to coat the whole thing. I'll probably put it on the tin foil too. You don't have to, but that way it's just going to fill any holes that I missed. It'll just help separate it when we pull it apart. You don't have to do this. Alright, I'm just gonna coat the whole thing. Alright, PVA is all done. So now what I'm doing, I've got a little fan set up, and I put it on one of the hangers, I guess you would call it, for a Dremel tool. You can pick them up anywhere. It usually comes with one. And all it does is clamps onto a table, and you can adjust the height, and you hook the fan onto it so you can adjust the height if you're trying to dry latex or even the PVA. So I'll just leave this on it and just rotate it around, try to get this dry as quick as I can. If not, you can just leave it overnight. But I'm in a hurry to get this done. So I'll show you when we come back. I'll see if I can find a spot where I can peel the PVA back and just show you. Alright, the PVA is pretty much dry everywhere, and I peeled up this corner just to show you. It just leaves like a thin layer, almost like a sunburn. This protects everything from fiberglass resin. Alright, got it all fiberglassed. I went and took, and before I cut the fiberglass, I put all my bolts in. So now all I have to do, I'm going to either take a die grinder with a cutting disc, or I'm going to take an angle grinder, and I'm just going to zip it along and just cut the seams out. Right? I just want to leave enough room that I don't hit the bolts. Okay. Then after that, I'll show you how we make out, and we'll separate it. Alright, all the seams are cut. I just took the bolts out now, just to make it a little easier for holding the camera in one hand and trying to take this apart. If you were going to put legs on this, this would be the time to do it now before you take the bolts out and pick different spots. Like I'd put a leg here, probably a leg over here, whatnot, and fiberglass it on. But I'm kind of in a hurry to get this one on the go, so I'm not going to put any legs on it. It would probably hold me up another day or two. So now, all I'm going to do is take a standard screwdriver, and where I can see the aluminum tape in between, I'm just going to try to get it wedged in there. Try to get it so you can see it. I don't want to work in the same spot too much, just enough. Work your way around to get this start separating. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. Let's see. I'll work it. There we go. It came apart right away as soon as I had both hands free. As you can see, you got a little bit of the PVA on it. I'll just wash that off. But I'll go ahead, I'll separate the other pieces and show you guys. But you can just peel off what little bit of aluminum tape is on the resin and the matting. It doesn't matter if you leave some on it or not, but most of it will come off. You might get a couple pieces stuck inside, but alright, so it's all done. Got all the pieces off. Took a little bit to get the last one off, and just had to play with it for a bit. But backup is done. And I already peeled some of this off, so it'd be a little easier to take off with one hand. There we go. Okay. She just needs cleaned up a little bit and talked. I got the latex mold done, got the backup done, and there was what I was making. Cute little puppy. I'm not sure what kind. I don't know if it's a little lab or whatnot. A little rubber boot. But, what? So that's how you make a backup for your latex mold, the mother mold, with or without using PVA. Alright. Alright, here's the end result. Finished the mold up yesterday, as you guys seen. And we took it in caster right away yesterday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have to take all this out, all the bolts, or if I can move some in. So first thing I'm going to do is loosen most of these off. Because I had it sitting in, or I didn't put any legs on it, I just sat it in a pile of sand just to keep it level. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take these off. Okay. After I demolded it yesterday, because the original copy I was using had some air bubbles in it, I took a small scalpel and was going through and trying to cut the air bubbles out. So I'll look at the air bubbles that are still left on this, and I'll go back through the latex and just try to cut them out and clean it up a little bit. So I'll take a look and see it's definitely better than it was. There you go.